That's it.
Right.
It's active.
We're not on camera anymore because Goldblum is there.
Yeah. Whew. It's good to know that he's there.
Yes.
Alright, hopefully this is better, guys.
Whoop.
Sorry about that.
Sorry. I take full responsibility. Yeah.
It's still Goldblum. It's still Goldblum over there.
Yeah. Just keeping an eye. He's keeping an eye. He's let. Hey, Jeff Goldblum, what do you think of the fact that when splicers burn to death, they get like this weird charred beef type texture, just all over their bodies, like even their lab coats and stuff.
Oh, thanks, Jeff.
Interesting observation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I really see where you're coming from there. All right. So we've got telekinesis, so we can go and get the Chaos Diamond, which I'll explain soon. Yeah, just so many great pieces of signage in both BioShocks.
Andrew Ryan asks you a simple question: are you a man or a slave?
Am I a man or a slave? I don't know. Yeah. I'm probably a protagonist in a video game.
All the signage in this game is so good.
Oh yeah.
Makes me barf.
Yeah.
Jake's barfing right now. It's pretty gross.
I'm barfing at this
That's
signage.
why, that's why Goldblum is up there.
We have scared the webcam with Goldblum.
You're puking with pleasure, right? As the trailer for Ill Bleed instructs us to.
Yes, I've puked with pleasure.
Yeah.
My vomit actually splattered up onto the webcam in the perfect image of Jeff Goldblum from The Life Aquatic. And then a guitar exploded. It was a surprise for everyone, including me. And Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum estate.
So I just grabbed the grenade with which Steinman sealed the thing. But it's okay though, because the explosion still went off and caused the door to become blocked.
Oh, you have a scripted grenade, therefore it continues to not blow up in your hand. Is that what's going on?
No, grenades just don't blow up in your hand if you're TKing them, I think.
Maybe I'm just bad.
But you have to be really quick on the draw to get this, and I guess I just did it instinctively because it's a... Oh, but it doesn't work on this. Yeah, scripted grenades don't work on scripted blockages. Duh.
Please.
Yeah. So I don't think you can kill him. I'm pretty sure he's invincible when he's up here. Yeah, I think he's invincible to the last hit point, which was a common thing in BioShock, where instead of just having a guy be obviously invincible, we would let you damage him all the way down to his last hit point, and then hopefully we would not be jerks and actually let you kill him at some point, because that's already just such a jerking around of the player. Okay, Steinman, you're supposed to go away now. You're, I blew up your thing.
The men all complain about their virility, but I can make
Some more horror show antics from Steinman. It's all great. Symmetry, yeah, I think this is the point at which Ken had really found the voice for Steinman. And it's also talking about a thing that I think Ken cares a lot about, which is that he hates just symmetry and visual art design. He sees it as very static and unappealing and stuff. And so he's, as in many cases here, speaking as a proxy for, we have characters in the BioShock fiction speaking as proxies for the designers of BioShock. It's that kind of thing. Yeah, sure. Actually, I'm probably going to stop after defeating Steinman, just because that seems like a good stopping point. Yeah, alright, so I'm just going to avoid his nonsense here.
What can I do with this one?
Dude, come on, I'm trying to watch a cool little thing here. Alright, Simon, hold off on the monologue. I'm just gonna... Okay.
I want to make them beautiful, but they always turn out wrong. That was
Oh, God.
too fat.
There was a lot of light on those blood particles.
Yeah, it looked like sparks.
Yeah.
Sparks,
Yeah.
What's this got?
So this is a reminder. It's an awesome villain mugging forest scene, but it's really a reminder that BioShock's villains are really pulpy. He's basically a mad doctor, but he's kind of given enough texture and stuff that we kind of see why he's crazy, maybe, or I don't know. Yeah, it's just something that I'm proud of.
Corpses.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's because they're in a city. They're in a messed up city full of corpses.
That they've made, mainly.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, I also like that the on fire acting in BioShock is I don't know what an actual person on fire looks like, but I know what a dude in a flame suit looks like. And
right. Which is
those arms going crazy, like flame suit run by guys. So your mocap guys are.
Unfortunately, the wrong camera setup was on, so you couldn't see Jake flailing around.
Yeah,
I didn't want people to see that.
I did.
It's on the second stream.
Where did Steinman go here? So Atlas has a line when you actually land the killing blow on Steinman here. Dude, don't do that. When you actually land the killing blow on Steinman. Alright, there we go. Am I successively damaging him? Yes, I am. So I could just punk him here. Oh, but no! Don't do that! Oh, you loser! Alright, so I'm gonna put a stop to that by flying out this med station. I'm just gonna let him kill himself on a hacked med station. Because that's one of the cool things. Man, I'm playing really terribly. Like I would usually have killed this guy in a much more stylish way, but I'm having to talk about video game. So Atlas has a line when you defeat Steinman here. When you land the killing blow on him, he says, "Are you all right? Make sure you get the key off Steinman and get to Neptune's bounty," or something like that. And at some early point when after that line had been recorded. Yeah, you'll hear it here.
You alright? It was time somebody took care of that sick bastard. Make sure you get the key off Steinman.
Okay, so somebody heard, like, it was either Hellquist or me or somebody, like, heard key off Steinman as Chaos Diamond. and so it was like, make sure you get the Chaos Diamond. And I was like, whoa, is the Chaos Diamond like a rare drop that Steinman has here? Right, because it's just such a wow item.
Such a video game.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things that once you've heard it, you pretty much can't not hear it. And so during BioShock 2's development, it was just an in-joke where we were like, okay, well, you're gonna have to like go to this guy and get some other Chaos Diamond from him, and then yada yada. So lingo is all made up and mostly jokes, and that's video game development. Do we want to load up Arcadia or do something else?
Supersonic when you get the Chaos Diamond.
Yeah,
effectively.
it's absolutely, yeah. Chaos Diamond.
Who was that?
Yeah, do we want to load up Arcadia, or I could keep playing medical here, but I think it's mostly just,
Arcadia, maybe?
Yeah.
When you put the stream onto some kind of hilarious old screen.
Well, it'll probably just load right up, right?
No, I know, but I still want to do that.
I believe that you should load up the gold cam small.
Okay, that's the hold thing.
It's C.
Hold plus small cam?
It's C.
Oh no, C. C is where it's at. The essential. There you go.
Yeah, alright.
That's it.
Yeah.
This is the correct.
Gather around, guys. Yep. Yeah. So you've got two actual humans, and then you've got the Goldblum. Yes.
Yeah, no, this is what we need.
If you're... I don't know.
No, there's Goldblum.
This website is under construction. That's all I can say about that. Yep. Yeah, he's just so lordly and, yeah.
We don't have a screen that has 3 Goldblums. That was our mistake. Though.
Yeah. No, yes. Yep. Yeah. System status, Goldblum.
We fucked it up.
Furiously taking screenshots. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I love it. Yeah, I'm totally gonna run that specific image of Goldblum through my Commodore ASCII image conversion algorithm, because I think it'll turn out pretty well, and I'll do it in like 1020 in like a 1080p version for wallpapering or something. All right.
Whoa, what?
What?
Oh man, weird.
That's cam big, gold small, cam large. These are just like
code names.
These are the presets that have no meaning to people. But okay, all right. So is this good? Yeah. I like that we have IBM guy right down here. See him? Yeah, he's talking about databases and usefulness.
Yeah, that's important.
And file form. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
That's key. That's key.
It's so good.
Video.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna lose my save progress here. So the level that we're skipping,
you're never gonna get that there.
So the level that I'm skipping over here was Neptune's bounty, not Neptune's pride, right?
Yeah.
Neptune's bounty, and then the smuggler's hideout, which is like the smaller adjunct level that comes at the end, in which you see something plot significant happened. Oh no, the sub blew up, and Atlas's poor family. Those two levels were designed by Dean Tate, who's now at Harmonix, and he was
Dean's a great guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. Hello, Dean. You're awesome. I want to work with you again someday. And yeah, and he was lead designer on Dance Central, and was a swell guy.
The idle forums play Neptune's Pride all the time, but because everyone gets Neptune's Bounty and Pride confused, the forum thread is always called Neptune's Bountiful Pride, and they're up to like thread 8 or something.
Yeah. We used to play. I think I played in that.
I played on a couple.
I think you did a couple as well.
Idle Beards is accurate. Shut up.
Oh, what's this?
Yeah, Idle Beards.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, who made this level? This guy.
Some big
doucher. This is the level that I was the primary level designer on for like the last year of BioShock's development. Before then, I did like early builds and like level building and the scripting stuff on Welcome and Medical, the first 2 levels in the game, and then I did the build outs of the residential area, which became Olympus Heights and Apollo Square, and then I was like scripter and designer on Hephaestus for a while, and I think those are all the levels that I touched. And but people moved around a whole bunch on it, like Dean, for instance, like Dean did a whole bunch of other
Believe in your dreams, JP.
Wait, let's full screen R. There we go. Okay. All right, it's full screen Arcadia. So yeah, lots of different people worked on it, and I miss them, and they're talented. So we're coming in here, and Atlas is broken up about his family, who he saw die in the exploded sub. We're coming out because we're coming out of the smuggler area, and also because religion was outlawed in Rapture because Andrew Ryan hated religion. That was an interesting thing, and so people were smuggling in Bibles, and that was part of the smuggling operation.
I came to this place.
Andrew Ryan comes in with a good line about he's now noticing you, the player, and what you're doing, because you're now a force to be reckoned with. And these boxes of contraband made fictional sense, but they also just slowed down the player a little bit because we had a big dump of radio material, and so that's the same reason that we make you duck under too. If I described anything about it, it would be a reasonable spoiler. It's just a really cool level, and it's gorgeous. And it's just a weird change of pace where you're not running around and shooting stuff. So they worked on that part of BioShock 2 towards the end of the game, they're really cool. And I should say that initial version of the intro for BioShock 2, of the first 2 levels for BioShock 2 that they worked on with us, that was actually a playable flashback that wasn't just like a straight flashback. It changed a lot at different points. It was but it was like this weird genetic memory type thing of you being present for the bomb going off in the Kashmir. And so we built a pristine new version of the Kashmir restaurant that we saw at the beginning of this playthrough. And you were seeing Rapture in its heyday, and then the bomb goes off and everybody's running around and stuff. And then you come out of that flashback and you see the Kashmir flooded, and you're underwater in a Big Daddy suit, walking around underwater, and there's clouds of brine and fish swimming through the ruins of the Kashmir statue, because it's 10 years after the events of BioShock 1. So that was I'm sad that we didn't get to do that, but it had a bunch of other BioShock 2. If I described anything about it, it would be a reasonable spoiler. It's just a really cool level, and it's gorgeous. And it's just a weird change of pace where you're not running around and shooting stuff. So they worked on that part of BioShock 2 towards the end of the game. They're really cool. And I should say that initial version of the intro for BioShock 2, of the first 2 levels for BioShock 2 that they worked on with us, that was actually a playable flashback that wasn't just a straight flashback. It changed a lot at different points. It was but it was this weird genetic memory type thing of you being present for the bomb going off in the Kashmir. And so we built a pristine new version of the Kashmir restaurant that we saw at the beginning of this playthrough. And you were seeing Rapture in its heyday, and then the bomb goes off and everybody's running around and stuff. And then you come out of that flashback and you see the Kashmir flooded, and you're underwater in a Big Daddy suit, walking around underwater, and there's clouds of brine and fish swimming through the ruins of the Kashmir statue, because it's 10 years after the events of BioShock 1. So that was I'm sad that we didn't get to do that, but it had a bunch of other problems and stuff. And Arcane built that and helped us kind of get through that painful process of figuring out how to really start the game. We come out into Arcadia. And you come out of this weird mausoleum thing, and you're like, wait a minute, is this there's plants everywhere, and it's like a graveyard. That's weird. But I'm still underwater. And yeah, it's just this weird, confusing set of images to be presented with, and then you're like, oh yeah, there's a tea garden. So this came about, like, we knew that we always wanted there to be something towards the middle of the game that was like this breath of fresh air aesthetically and stuff. You're going through the grimy, dingy, like, fisheries area and stuff like that, and then you just come out in something completely unexpected and like a big shift in the color palette and all that, and you have a quiet moment here when you're outside. Hoagie de LePlante and I built a version of this in like March of 2006, and it was like the first real playable game space that had the Art Deco, you know, really nice art and, you know, kind of working as a gameplay space as well. And it looks very different from this. Like, you came in through that door because you weren't coming in. And so one of the things that that Hoagie put down as we were decorating the space and talking about it was he just put down, like, there wasn't a mausoleum here or anything. There wasn't any hint of a graveyard, but he just put down like a little gravestone somewhere. And it was just like, you know, he's like a really thoughtful guy, so he wasn't just like doing something for the hell of it, but he was like, yeah, I don't know what that's for, but it seemed cool. And that's kind of what grew into it's still a weird thing that isn't talked about too much in the fiction, but it's like, yeah, like, I guess they buried people here as part of, I don't know, like, it's not big enough to be like the actual cemetery for Rapture. But yeah, it was just this weird idea that grew into a slightly more significant part of the level off of just a random mesh placement. And I think that's kind of a good microcosm for like how the creative process works sometimes. Like, you'll do something just because you find it intriguing and you're trying it out on the screen, and then you just sort of run with it and it becomes a thing. Yeah. So yeah, Arcadia is like a parkland type thing that Andrew Ryan had built, and there's like scientific research going on here under the hood where people are doing like hydroponics and botany type research, but it's also like a park that they charge admission for because it's a capitalist paradise, yada yada. Alright, so this thing that we're about to see here is the intro for the Houdini Splicer, and right now we just hear like a guy calling out for help, and we're like, oh, somebody needs help? What's going on? What's going to happen? Oh, okay, let's see, where'd you go, guy? Huh. Hey, where'd you go, dude? Where are you? Oh, that's weird. Is there an invisible man? I'm totally just deflating all of the yeah.
Oh, there's a guy there.
Oh, look, invisible man. But yeah, this is like this whole intro section here is like very meticulously scripted, and you know, just there's a whole bunch of like branching things. Like, it was really important to me to like do the scripting for this in a way that didn't restrict the player and just kind of let them explore and feel like something was happening around them. But it took a lot of work. But I felt like it was appropriate because it's the intro for a new type of splicer who does a fairly freaky thing.
Someone wants to know what led to the secret room.
Oh yeah.
Back by the gravestones.
Yeah. Let me go back out. It was just like I wanted to have a secret here, and once upon a time you did something where you like pushed in one of these gravestones, and then that like caused the door to open.
Like Link to the Past. Sorry, pushing
yeah.
the gravestone and
no, sort of. Yeah.
Open is fully.
Totally. Yeah. Well, I wasn't explicitly trying to make a Zelda reference or something, but I was like, I want a cool secret here, and hey, I've got these. But that didn't really read well, and it sort of like messed with the visual language for the game. So what it ended up being was it's like two torches here, and one of them is out. And if you have any source of fire type thing, which you have a few different ways to make fire, you hit this.
Oh, so it's then, like Ocarina of Time. Sorry.
Yes, exactly. So it's a different Zelda reference. Again, it wasn't intentional, but after I realized it's like, okay, yeah, I'm not like a huge Zelda fan, but I'll acknowledge it. But so that wasn't done just because I wanted to do a Zelda reference, but because I wanted to have like a mildly puzzly way to access this little secret area.
Right.
And here's a mausoleum with some little extra special loot and stuff, like some very precious alternate ammos and stuff.
Oh, good. It's good that you loot a corpse out of a coffin.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yes, that person has to be buried with their money, and now you're looting them. Objectivism. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, that was that little secret. But yeah, let's pick back up on the Houdini intro here, because this guy was like, help me, I'm running around.
That's a direct line.
Yeah, right, yeah. No, I insisted on doing all of the dialogue for this, and yeah, I'm running around on the computer. Yeah. I'm sorry, this is really not the way to experience this stuff for the first time. But, so yeah, you go back here, and like all of the scripting and stuff that we've been doing leads you back here, and you get here, and you're like, that's weird, it's like a wicker mask or something. No! And then yeah. So yeah, if we get to play.
Oh, I saw one that happened earlier when it was a different guy.
Yeah. So that was the. Sorry. Yeah, and then this guy runs here.
I remember being afraid of these guys and also just hating that they existed. That was my...
Yeah. Oh, totally, yeah. Yeah, so these guys are a pain in... I will totally cop to the fact. These guys are a pain in the ass to fight. And this first fight that I do where he can teleport, like, all around you in, like, more or less a 360-degree arc, it's a pain. Yeah, like, they're hard to fight, and we did a few things to, like, kind of nerf them. But I like that they're a mix-up. And, like, just fighting one of these guys is kind of a challenge, whereas up to this point you've been fighting a lot more... Like, normal like, melee and range splicers are starting to become cannon fodder at this point. So we wanted to have something that would be, like, you know, that would up the stakes a little bit. I want to...
Someone wants to know if you can talk a bit about the cult that operates in Arcadia.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I totally will. Hold on, I'm gonna... Alright, I'm gonna throw a pumpkin at a guy with telekinesis because...
Also, someone wants to know if you came up with the physical disassembly effect for that found Steven Alexander.
Yeah, like all of the effects, all that beautiful stuff about it, like, yeah, that's totally him. Yeah, that went through a lot of iterations. Like, the first version of it that he did was, like, you saw their nervous system appearing for a split second after they vaped out, which was really cool looking, but it was just, like, it was bizarre. It made it kind of look like a Skyrim spell or something. Yeah, so that's, a little crawl space. Oh, yeah, this is just me one night deciding to do a thing. This guy holed up in here because there's a scary guy outside, and I think I spawned in a guy. Yeah, he walks in. This is Breadwinner, the sweariest of our splicer archetypes. Yeah, and then, like, yeah, the physical disassembly thing kind of came up, like seemed like a thing after we also realized, like, hey, what if when Houdini splicers teleported out, they created like a little physics vortex that would suck items into the center a little bit, and that I think that kind of implied that sort of cemented the direction where it's like, yeah, they're actually blinking out, they're like physically displacing space around them or something. It's completely bonkers sci-fi stuff, but
I always read that as when they disappear, you leave a hole in the air where you were, so something gets pulled in. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's a vacuum.
Yeah. So
the rose petal stuff is really evocative.
Well, it's like, yeah,
it's good that it shows up here also, obviously. But
yeah.
Where there's they make plant effects. The plant guys.
Yeah.
Is it the plant level?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, totally. Yeah, this is another one of my little scripted ambushy type things that I've lovingly recreated in my Doom remake. But yeah, I think I script a ranged guy up there to shoot an explosive barrel, and then that sets this whole slick on fire. And it either happens here and pins you back where you've got some cover, or or you're stuck here and you're actually enclosed by fire, which is like rough stuff. You know, like I'm kind of putting the screws to the player a lot early on. But what am I doing? But yeah, and it was just sort of an interesting thing that could happen, you know. And we front-loaded a lot of that stuff at the beginning of these levels just to, you know, set the tempo and get people, you know.
Oh, so you get psyched?
Yes, yeah, it's to get the players super pumped up.
I meant that you want people to get psyched at the beginning of the level, so you didn't put the word "get psyched" on the screen, but
right,
you're effectively doing that.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm using some Enrage Plasmid on these guys to make them fight. They're idiots, they don't know what they're doing, or maybe he's running away. This was a thing where, yeah, like, I had that turret there, and it was super brutal, because it would just shoot you in the side of the freaking neck as soon as you came in. But I didn't want to get rid of it, so I added this stack of crates here, so the turret will start shooting the crates and knock it over into your line of sight, and kind of clue you in, but also give you some grace time when you're not getting shot by it. This is still kind of brutal. Like, I don't know if I'm, or maybe I've just gone soft and I should have made it more difficult. But man, this level is hard. Whoever designed this is a dick.
Someone's asking, do you feel like you had more freedom to put in crazier, difficult situations because of the Vita Chamber system? Yeah, I definitely think so. Yeah, if we had like a, you know, just a conventional save load thing, I guarantee you a lot of things would have been, granted, like, we weren't, it's not like we were trying to make the game hard knowing that we had that leash, but, like, I think it gave us some it gave us some freedom as level designers, and it also gave the player some freedom to be a little more
to experiment a little bit more and try some risky stuff, because death doesn't have as much of a sting, and that's been a very widely talked about weakness of BioShock, and I agree that it does devalue some things in the game in the way that it does. I'm very, I hear the criticisms of Vita Chambers, but on the flip side, like it creates all these other things, and the reasons that it worked well in System Shock 2, for instance, are totally. Those are the reasons that we wanted to start doing it initially, and then we just kind of, we were in for a penny, in for a pound on it.
Well, it's interesting,
and I think it was a good move because honestly, like we saw from achievements after the first game came out that like something like 47% of people who played BioShock 1 completed it, I think, and that's an astounding number. Like 47% of like 3 or 4 million people, like. That's amazing for completion numbers, and like you can argue about like whether or not it's the point of the game is to help people get to the end. That's and I kind of agree it shouldn't just be a linear content muncher roller coaster sort of thing. But I am pleased that it wasn't just constantly breaking people down and making them replay stuff. It's sort of in a weird way. It's sort of a way of valuing the player's time a little more by helping them just get back into the action and not having lost world state or anything. So I feel like it was a win.
Hey, Steve's in the chat.
Oh, it's Steve Gaynor.
Talking about naming
awesome.
Naming things or naming bots in Bio 2.
Sweet. Oh yeah. All of us who worked on Bio 2 are named after bots in BioShock 2.
Oh, you're named after a bot in BioShock 2?
Oh, sorry.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, yeah. My parents had a time machine. No. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Steve Gaynor was design hire number 2 at 2K Marin, and is an awesome dude, and he's doing his own thing with Janoman Nordhagen and Carlos Amanja, also ex-2K Marin people, and they're doing Gone Home, and it's awesome. You don't know yet, but it's awesome. Yeah.
They're coming!
Oh. So yeah, this was one of those little scenes where we wanted to show that the Houdini splicers on this level were actually kind of a separate faction. This is not something that we depended on players knowing. It was really just like a little just sort of another thing that was happening in the level besides just it's full of angry splicers. And so there we saw like a Houdini splicer who we only barely see. We're still kind of being coy about showing them and whatever. And he's just straight up like fireballing this other splicer who is like running away in fear or something. So and then so that gets into the whole like cult thingy. The idea that the Houdini splicers on this level, unlike the Houdini splicers in other levels, were part of a weird cult. This was like a story idea that Ken pushed for comparatively very late in development, and because he was just like, the level needs something, and we talked about the ways that it could be implemented fairly cheaply, and it came down to like mostly it was like, well, we can do some art, we can do some stuff with the art. We'll give these guys like special robes and stuff, and then we'll do a whole bunch of like environment art treatments that show like, what were these guys doing? Were they like, they had this weird kind of pagan religion thing? My interpretation of the actual story behind it was always that they were kind of like aristocrats who were playing at being pagans, They were, and after Rapture went to hell, and they were like, they were like, well, we're the special elites of society, and so we're going to take the teleportation plasmid, which was cut from the game, as an actual power, but we kept the Houdinis, obviously. And they would do these like mysticism things and all that, but they were really just.
That totally does sound like a sort of early mid 20th century aristocratic pastime.
Like I don't
notion of there's secret societies and kind of or like the Bohemian Club kind of thing, like going out.
Exactly, and so like the weird environment of Rapture and the collapse of society and of course plasmids allowed them to take this to a weird extreme where they actually became like a weird blood cult type thing with no claim to actual like primitive religion or anything, but they were just kind of a gang. It's kind of the sort of thing you would see in Fallout or whatever. This was a scripted Big Daddy Splicer fight where we just wanted to show Splicers like existing uneasily with Big Daddies. That Splicer's hit points are actually like really jacked so that they can survive for like more than a second against a Big Daddy. And I think we turn it off if you aggro either of them.
Someone wants to know about the iteration process on the the levels with respect to like adding in secret rooms and stuff, like did you have the freedom as a level designer to just put that stuff in there? Like, you know, how much oversight was there?
Yeah, relatively, like, it depends on, at different points in the level's development, because I'm sure you've seen, like, white box levels or orange box or whatever you call them, where in the early parts of a level's development, it's just really basic untextured or primitive grid geometry. And at that point, you know, you build the level like that because it's very easy to change. Like, you can make sweeping changes to the level in the order of hours, as opposed to later, when a level looks like this, changing anything, like if you want to move that beam over, maybe that's not so difficult, but if you want to move that doorway over, that's like that'll take like an artist a few hours, if not a full day or something. And so, you know, early on in development, you can just like carve out a secret room or just something, you know, it's like, I need a room for this, so I need the hallway to extend all the way over to here. You can do that stuff really easily. Midway through, as the level's getting decorated, you can still kind of do it, you know, and then like late in development, it's like, well, this is new space and we need to polish it and test what happens in it and what can happen in it. So, you know, it's just, you know, at different points in the game development process, it's like, you know, it's like drying concrete. You pour the concrete and then slowly it dries and it gets more beautiful and closer to being a finished, you know, amazing game and stuff, but it also gets less tolerant of iteration. But sometimes, you know, you have an idea and you're like, well, this would be really cool, and you just kind of have to be pragmatic and say it's worth it or it's not.
Can you go in there?
You totally cannot go in there. Yeah, and you can't look in there or just, don't even talk about it. No. This is like probably one of my favorite pieces of art in the entire game, like just the opening vent. It's still a weird fictional thing. Like, you know, why would these? I think we said that they were like air vents. That this was just like the Rapture's HVAC system, and it just happens to perfectly support an 8-year-old girl climbing into it. Once you remove the screen. A little weird, but just like the art itself, you know, and like especially in Arcadia with stuff growing around it, because it's a sunflower, you know, it's like leaves and branches and stuff coming up out of like the dark ground, and then it's the sunflower design. It's just amazing. It's just a beautiful piece of art, and you know, the fact that we took something so arbitrary and game designy like protectors and gatherers entering and leaving the world at various points, and then it made it all the way into being this. It's sort of just like the broken miracle that was BioShock's development. Yeah. Hold on, I have to shoot a human. oh crap! I have outrunner Big Daddy somehow, and my life is forfeit. Actually, let me get a snappy, as our friend Peach Wilkins would say.
It's that one.
Just so I can.
Grade 3 photograph.
Yeah. Games. Yeah, well, because I wanted a damage bonus so that I would be able to... Oh, God. Alright, well, I guess I'm taking down this Big Daddy. I don't know what I did. I guess one of my shotgun bullets hit him or something.
Does this game actually let you keep photographs?
No, they're not stored anywhere,
so,
sadly,
you're not actually saving those pictures out, it's just actually freezing
out of the game. Yeah.
Oh, he's fine.
Alright, yeah. Yeah, Electric Buck, by the way, is... good for whales, yeah. Electric Buck. And yes, so, yep. Oh yeah, that's right, we haven't saved a little sister on camera here. So, harvesting and saving, the moral choice of BioShock. I have like...
Thank you, mister.
Oh, thank you. It's,
thank you.
Thank you. Such a wonderful experience here with Jack Ryan. So yeah, I don't know how much I don't know how much I should actually talk about, like the prehistory of that for ESRB, and I don't know, yeah. But so when you save a little sister, I think what you're actually doing.
No.
Sorry, that shadow.
yeah. Yep. Shadow map bugs. They're great. Yeah, I think when you're saving a little sister, you're using the plasmid that Tenenbaum gave you during the cutscene in Medical, where she's like, "Don't hurt her, have you no heart?" She throws you that plasmid and you inject it, but you don't see it anywhere in your like plasmid loadout or anything. But I think fictionally, what's happening there is that you get Save Hand, and Save Hand allows you to somehow harmlessly remove the Atom Slug parasite from the little sister without killing her somehow, or it like neutralizes it or something and turns her instantly into a normal little girl. The fiction that this is connected to and the like development process and like the ESRB stuff, like that's the stuff that I was saying I don't know if I want to talk about because it gets into like, I don't know. I don't think it's particularly embarrassing for Irrational or anything, but I don't know. I have a weird history with it, and like, suffice it to say, at one point you couldn't save Little Sisters, and that was weird, and like we wanted to do something about it, and then a whole bunch of decisions later, you could harvest or save, and that was sort of the moral choice. And the thing I will talk about is that the reward structure for that is completely busted. Like, you're basically, it wasn't really a moral choice at all. It was just, do you want to be a dick or not? And you'll actually get a better reward over time. As the infamous graph showed, that people put up within a month of BioShock coming out. Yeah, you're better off just saving every Little Sister you come across, because the atom and plasmid reward that Tenenbaum gives you just far outweigh like the extra atom you might get from harvesting. I always kind of wanted it to be more like you really were foregoing an atom rewards in order to save. You were just knowing that you were doing the right thing, and yeah, I wanted to have like atom in the world and stuff, so that you felt more like you were actually kind of like you were a vampire eating rats instead of preying on people. Like, you were agreeing to do the noble thing, even though it was strictly harder to do that. But yeah.
People are asking about the infamous early slug and frog versions of the Gatherers.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, back before BioShock's fiction was Rapture, underwater Art Deco utopia in the mid 20th century, it was like sort of a more generic, like underwater science-based type thing. That was what some people call the Nazi-based thing. And in those days, like 100 years had passed since that society had crumbled, and so all of the instead of splicers, there were crazy mutated monsters running around everywhere, because you'd had accelerated evolution happening for 100 years or something. So in that fiction, it made a lot more sense for, like, that was the original conception of Gatherers, which was like the under the hood name for Little Sisters and stuff. And so back then it was just like post-humans in diving suits escorting slugs around, and then they would escort those slugs back to like the Queen, where they would drop off their atom or something. I forget what role the Queen played or something, but yeah, it was just this monster, like sort of biological, weird, evolutionary wasteland kind of thing.
Biological shock.
Yeah. That when the game was called BioShock, it sort of, that was sort of more directly to the point there. And then, at a certain critical point in around the time that the Art Deco fiction and Andrew Ryan and stuff, like the monster stuff just didn't seem appropriate, and that was really like something that Ken pushed for. He was like, let's try to make enemies that look like people, so that we can do things like the Lost Humanity thing. And so yeah, like at that point, Gatherers went from being little slugs to being actual little girls. And we had this scene very early on in that version of Medical that I've been working on, where a Big Daddy and the little sister were walking down the hall, and they were like holding hands. I think it was like this scripted animation that we're just kind of testing out, and you saw them through an ocean tunnel, and that was like the first real look that you got at Big Daddies and Little Sisters. And that was sort of the moment, like, and it was in silhouette, and even though it was like really primitive and stuff, that was sort of the moment where we were like, yeah, this is super weird, and we don't know if it's going to work, but let's try it. That's that fiction. The actual look of the splicers also came out of, like, there was this, sometime in 2005, somebody put up an eBay auction for a book of mugshots from the San Francisco Police Department from the 1940s. And I don't know if this is online anywhere, but it's an incredible, like, so it was an eBay auction, but they had full scans of everything, because I guess sometimes when you sell something on eBay, you put up all the pictures. And they were it was police mugshot photos of people who had been arrested for various reasons in San Francisco in the 1940s. And if you look through those mugshots, you will see the faces of a whole bunch of splicers. They're just like, just with a little bit of extra, like, weirdness and mutation and stuff, but like Toasty, like with his weird lip and stuff, and just all of the freaky weird stuff you saw was in BioShock is basically those people. And it's deeply, like, yeah, there was like a guy with like a super broken nose, and a guy who had like a huge shiner and stuff, and like a woman who just had like this look of, I don't know, just contempt or something. Like, it's an amazing document of history, and it became like, and I think that was like this intersection moment where it was like, oh yeah, these are the real people that could have lived in Rapture, because you look at those old photos and you're like, those were real people. That's so messed up and compelling. And so that was sort of the point at which we knew we could make human enemies running around Rapture and not monsters, and that absolutely ended up being the right move. Yeah, alright. So yeah, back in the video game.
Meanwhile, in video games.
The Rosie Big Daddy left a little treat for us there in the form of a proximity mine, so I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to leave it there because I know things, and I know that it will blow up an enemy at some point.
Oh, Steve at one point asked that you make gears beyond the shotgun next time you have a chance.
I totally will. Yeah.
So put gears on that.
I'm all about the gears on the shotgun. Yeah,
that's what a good weapon is.
Yeah. So this is a case where we don't want the player to get into the back half of the level yet, so it's all overgrown with stuff. You know, I guess you can still walk up to the door.
Clicked through that plant.
So that's sort of lame. Yeah, we decided to turn off the collision on the plants, so that even though you can do this, which is a little weird, you can be like hiding in here like a ninja.
When you're playing it and not paying attention to that, it always feels weird.
but it was absolutely the right call. Like the collision on this was just like it was abysmal. Yeah, you would just be flailing around.
Do you at least make a plant rustling noise when you walk into it?
Sadly, no, because I think. Well, it's because I think if you turned off the collision on those static meshes, they couldn't get traces that would cue the sound stuff. So yeah, it was we didn't have excellent tools for getting a lot of that world reactivity stuff.
So Mark Rain.
Oh yeah, well we had forked the engine by several. You know, the engine, it was a several years distant fork of yeah. Oh yeah, I'll throw Mark Rain under the bus for something, but so yeah, here
probably for plant sound effect tagging not working when they don't have collision.
Yeah. BioShock developer blasts Mark Rain for no.
Mark Rain response.
Someone's asking if BioShock can be considered steampunk. And I can say definitely that Nate Wells, who is currently the art director, would be
he will fight you.
With
that,
that description.
And then if you asked him if it was diesel punk, he would probably just slug you. Although it probably is in the technical definition closer to that. So yeah, here I was using the decoy plasmid, which is pretty much my favorite thing because it's
that guy is happening right now.
Yeah, because that guy is happening. It's like it's a cowering. This is actually the desiccated male corpse that's playing this animation, and he's just such a little weirdo.
But that animation and you sliding him around just gives this Michael Jackson-esque feeling that
yeah, it's amazing.
Please don't sing that though, or we're gonna get the stream shut down.
Oh, but decoy plasma is awesome because it lets you manipulate AIs in hilarious ways, get people to fight each other. You know, it's just a cool like ecological play style kind of thing. You know, where you're just having fun with the AIs and getting emergent stuff to happen. So yeah, this is a secret that I made because I make video games. I think once upon a time you could get up there.
Every time I see you doing this, my first instinct is always, just go into debug mode and fly up there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yep. So yeah, I spent like probably this time, like May of 2007, as we were getting pretty close. I went in and just like added a bunch more like little nooks and crannies with treats in them and stuff, just because. You know, like especially the more linear, we really are funneling you into what's about to happen here. So I just wanted I wanted you to have like reasons to feel like this world was non-linear and might have been a place and feel rewarded for exploring and stuff like that. So yeah, now we're down here and we're like, oh, that's the Rapture Metro. That's where we want to go. Oh snap. Yeah. Yes, this is my greatest fear as someone who's allergic.
This is how it's personal for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. So yeah, this was a massive environmental change that took a lot of scripting, a lot of very nice effects work by Stephen Alexander, good lighting work from the environment artists.
People talking about Infinite in the chat. Oh yeah. No one. Yeah, Steve said it correctly. No one here has anything to do with BioShock.
This is true. Yeah, none of us are currently working on it. I've never worked on, I left Irrational in 2007, and that was well before.
I've never worked at or on anything resembling an Irrational game.
I was at Irrational, but have not been there for about 6 months. So.
Yes. Yeah, and so the forest is all completely dead now, and it's all messed
Can you
up.
put your guy up inside one of those trees? I noticed it looks like you can be tagged up in those branches. So make that happen.
You're a permanent resident.
Thank you. Yes. That's what I crave.
Hell yeah. Oh, I'm stuck in a tree. A shout out to whoever did the Arcadia speedrun on YouTube, in which they used a stack of garbage to climb up in this tree and then jump over the trigger that causes the die-off. And they just bypassed most of Arcadia.
Oh man, that's awesome.
My hat goes off to that guy. Yeah, like any game developer who gets mad at players who speedrun your game, grow up. It's going to happen. And that guy was being particularly clever. And he even knew, like, so two things cause that die off to happen. There's a trigger volume that's like a fault, like there's a view trigger, so that when you're about here, you come within the radius of the view trigger. So if you're looking at that door, when you get to about here, the door shuts and the die-off happens. Otherwise, if you're not looking at it, if you're just kind of like spazzing out being an FPS player, you hit a trigger about here, and then that causes the die-off no matter what. So that even if you're staring at the ground, it still happens, and we make sure that we lock you in the level and force you to play the rest of Arcadia.
He hopped up on the tree
and
averted his eyes.
He knew this somehow, and he managed to build this stack of garbage to get up into this tree, and then not knowing that the view trigger was there. And then he got down, and then landed about here, and then backed in through and then he walked through the doorway, and then just to show that he knew that he was completely on to me, he turned around and triggered the view trigger as he was leaving the level, which shut the door, just to and
so
I'm like,
gave you the smirk,
the
smug smirk on the way out as
totally,
the door closes.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
If you could have blipped that into third person, he would have been smoking or waving at you. One of those two things would have been occurring.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why that's why I love speedrunning, because it actually is a form of expressive play that I think does something to elevate games and, properly respect the role of the player and that stuff. Because that's awesome, and, like he's running around in this playground that I created, and yeah.
My trees.
Oh yes.
It wasn't you, was it? No.
My trees. Yeah. So this is Julie Langford. I think her name.
I think I've gone away to
First,
save
yeah.
the trees.
Her name is definitely Langford.
Look who I'm talking to.
So this is like an actually still alive human being somewhere in here, and she's giving you a quest, much like Peach Wilkins did, but with less Peach. And she wants you to go do something, and it's clearly a quest, but you play along because maybe she knows how to fix the things. She's a botanist. Yeah, we added her oh god. I'm forgetting that this is a video game that I have to play.
That hologram.
There's a Big Daddy here too, so that's gonna make things hilarious. I just love the shotgun.
My middle name is Games. It's true.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve, for clarifying to people.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I walked up to you in a BioShock game and then like cursored over you, it would be like, yeah, Jake. Games. Yeah. Video. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, Langford was a character that we added, mid 2006, because we realized that this level did need kind of a human voice and face and stuff, and that somebody that could help drive the quest that you were doing on the level and stuff. Julie Langford was Holden Langford, a male, just sort of nondescript white guy, milk toasty scientist guy, for a long time, and then relatively close to the to recording the VO. Ken was like, "Yeah, let's make Langford a lady.
Let's make the nature scientist a female character."
Well, yeah,
Sorry.
but it was at least it was a it was getting more interesting lady character representation in a game that had sort of been lacking in it. So I'm pleased about that. And she still has some flaws and stuff, because everybody in a BioShock game has to be, kind of shitty. So this cave is sealed off before the plant die-off happens, and this is like the Saturnine thing. They're putting up just a smattering of symbols and stuff. If I had time, I would have drawn out some of these symbols myself, but I think the artist just looked up some cool symbols to put on a wall. They just went for the wingdings or something. But yeah, this is their cool well, it's not actually, I don't know. It's their culty type place that they built, to really get that good, we're awesome pagans worshipping some dark god or something feel. It's just such a weird beat now that I look back on it. It's just, But yeah, I rolled with it, and I did like being able to have like very natural organic geometry here, because that's sort of the change of pace for me.
Is the implication of it that it's actual pumped out undersea stuff, or did someone actually bring some rocks in, artistically arrange them in a naturalistic way?
Well, I think like a lot of Rapture probably was built, I have to assume, by hollowing out actual by digging into rock, by digging into actual seafloor rock. I'm kind of assuming that the water itself is fresh though, and that it's piped in the way that all the other water that you see that isn't leaking in from the ocean. But hard to say.
Oh yeah, Rapture is reasonably brackish at this point.
Oh yeah. It's not doing so well. So this is like.
The poison! Kill the poison!
Yeah, so that's a whole bunch of splicers. Like, I think they're beating a dead Houdini, maybe.
Sorry.
Which is technically what I'm doing.
Beating a dead Houdini.
Which is technically what I'm doing. And this whole yeah, and I think the idea, one thing I was trying to do with that is just like show that like the die-off had disturbed all these people who were living in Arcadia, all these splicers who were squatting on Arcadia. We're pretty freaked out by the die-off, by the plant die-off that just happened, and that they're just going nuts, and they're blaming the Saturnine, and the Saturnine are trying to, I don't know, it was, and so you just see, like, splicers, inhumanity splicers happening, and it's also, like, the guy had a tonic, and he drops it, and then you get it, and it's a setup for a combat, and, serving multiple masters, as always, in BioShock. So yeah, this is a super dick move by me. It's like it's a security gauntlet, basically. There's like multiple turrets, and there's these trap bolts, which you don't actually have. You don't actually have these yet, so they just seem like weird laser trip wires or something. And so you're really just like pinned down, and you have to kind of creep through here. I think it's actually like you'll definitely get your ass beat by this if you're not on your toes, but I think it's kind of cool and successful. It's like. It's different from fighting a whole bunch of mans, and then you can subvert it, and then you have like a very large, like, safe area kind of thing. A broken vending machine, which we did not have that many of, but I wanted to give the players some grenades and other
I like the use
juicy
of the
ammos.
indefinite article. This is not a broken vending machine.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Broken vending machine.
Yep. Inconsistencies in text. This was all done on like a per instance basis, so it's not like we had this big database where we could efficiently.
Broken vending.
Yes, I do love that as well. Yeah. And let's hack this. Sure. I'm kind of rolling in dough. So yeah. So this is the rose blossom type thing. This is like a special specimen of roses that she had treated like their plant mixture or something with Adam, and it keeps them thriving despite the plant die-off here. And this was part of the experiments that Langford was doing. And it's like, oh, because if these roses are surviving, then that means that we might be able to revive this place. As soon as you pick up the rose, dudes come in, and depending on how much of the security here you've disposed of, it will work in your favor as dudes come in and get completely chopped to pieces. Or not, and you just fight them straightforwardly. Just kind of like an in and out, two-sided encounter space. Fun. These water wheels used to be physics, and then physics happened. And that's a common thing in game development. I think actually it was just really bad performance, because it was simulating them. They were being driven by Havoc motors, and that was just that was just because it was constantly simulating, and it wasn't able to handle that. It wasn't able to degrade that sim elegantly. Is the stream okay?
I'm not sure. No, it's fine.
You doing good?
Just this computer fucked up something. That computer hates the stream.
That's fine, sorry.
The light source on the Big Daddy's faces are just awesome, and like illuminating that's everything about that is a big thumbs up. And yeah, her eyes glowing in the dark, and I love it. Still.
You brought the
Rose of Gallica?
What are you waiting for? An engraved invitation? Send it through the pneumo.
You gotta use that pneumo.
Press E to send Rose, by the way.
Yes.
Custom Frob.
Come on up to my office.
I'm letting.
Want to explain what a fraud is?
Yeah, sure. Oh god, yeah.
You said
All right.
custom fraud.
I get to be the fraud historian again. So yeah, fraud is a term that I picked it up from Irrational, and Irrational picked it up from Looking Glass, and Looking Glass picked it up from, I guess, the MIT Electronics Club in the 1960s. Or no, yeah. Anyway, fraud it's like short for frobnicate, which was just this like generic term for like when you mess with something, when you use something. And so in video, like, yeah, and I think there was a Looking Glass game in which that became the term, and then it just sort of stuck for Deus Ex and BioShock and System Shock 2 and all that kind of stuff. It's short for frobnicate. Look up frob or frobnicate on and you'll find entries for it on the jargon file and stuff like that. And there's a whole bunch of jokes relating to frobbing, and it's what you do with things in an immersive sim type video game.
I've got the security system in this joint hacked, so those turrets won't fight. Come on up to my office.
So yeah, Langford is being nice and has her security stand down so that you can come in and meet her. She's been growing these trees in here. It's cool botanical research, and there's stuff. Incubator.
Oh, it's an incubator.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good they got those here.
Yeah. Julie Langford's research laboratories. And you're seeing outside more and more of the stuff. Yeah, and outside you see like the big trees growing in tubes that are part of this because of science. Alright, and now we have a big scene coming up.
Look at those fish.
We made a business deal, you and I, did we not? Money changed hands. Let me read to you from the agreement. Section 3, subsection 4.
Yeah.
Mr.
Ryan Industries
So,
maintains exclusive rights to the...
Andrew Ryan is doing what he does best and monologuing to both you and Langford, and saying that, he knows that Langford has betrayed him by helping me, and he's going to kill her. He's going to kill her with the toxin that she herself developed in a concentrated dose, and that kills her. But with her dying breath, she does something.
Some shit for you.
She writes something in the window. This is another bit of effects wizardry from Stephen Alexander. This is done as a traveling mask, which we totally did not have tech for. So it's just this. Yeah, it was a weird thing that we didn't think could be done, but we were it would be way cooler if she wrote the code in the window after it fogged up or something, and she gets all Spock about it, and sure enough, that's a code, and 3 guesses as to what the code goes to. Oh yeah, also in addition to seeing a plot point and knowing that you have to do this on your own now without her, you get a chemical thrower, which is a super crazy weapon. But then you open this up, you're like, it's a botanical illustration. What else would I do with a botanical illustration? And I've forgotten my own code.
The code in the mirrors
9457.
spells frob.
Absolutely.
The code in mirror form spells frob, says Al Muerte.
I'm kind of amazed that I didn't remember that code, because I have entered this thing at least 100 times, probably, just in the course of testing it and stuff. So what you get out of her safe is the crafting formula. This is also where we introduce the BioShock's crafting system, where you go to U-Invent stations and you get all this adventure game junk that you've been carrying around in your pockets, and then you get to convert it into useful human-damaging ammo. And in order to introduce this, there was this high concept early on in BioShock's development where, we would introduce each system in the game, like camera research and crafting, and that's probably it, kind of, by making it the center of the quest for a level. So that's why you're crafting stuff in Arcadia. That's why we give you this hilarious scavenger hunt, and also just because we want you to play a level. You have to go and collect these crafting components that are these little sciencey, chemically type things like chlorophyll and, I don't know, distilled water and stuff like that. This is a... So that's the chemical thrower gimme, where you can just roast these fools. Yep. Yeah, you can blind them with science, and it's all good. And then you're going to go about and... Oh, and a Houdini has showed up. Oh, and the security has come back on because Langford is dead now, and her her hack wore off or something. I don't know. I think it was just time limited. And a Houdini shows up, and you've got to like fight with your cool new toy. Yeah. Fun fact: you can catch Houdini's fireballs with telekinesis and throw them back. They don't actually do that much damage, though, even though it is probably one of the coolest things you can do.
Arcadia is a big place, but mostly rural. If you're looking for something in particular, like there.
Cool. This little cave-in right here actually used to be an extra connectivity route that you would use to take back to the main hallway. I actually really liked it, and I forget why we cut it. So I reinstated it for my Doom 2 demake of Arcadia that we might play if we want to. Yeah. So I'm getting all George Lucas-y, revisiting past creative decisions.
It's good that you're doing it in a Doom mod.
But it's because I'm making a Doom level. Yeah, that was... So the Doom demake thing was a hilarious thing that I did. It was after BioShock 2 shipped, so I was in Marin, and I had some like spare time and stuff, and I'd sort of gotten back into Doom mapping, and I was like... Oh no. Yeah, this is one of the splicers with a hacked security bot. You can tell by like his weird little effects coming off of his brain. Where did it go? Alright, Gainer. Here's your Gears shotgun. Gears. Oh, but I have no ammo! The ultimate embarrassment. Damn it. Where did Home Slice go?
I'm smarter than you.
Houdini Grossman says, I'm smarter than you. We know. Yeah, I totally did. I need to get some ammo for this. Yeah, oh god, I'm just playing terribly. Alright, I'm gonna auto-hack this so that I can...
Welcome to the circus of value.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Hold on. Do-do-do.
Oh, or you just died. Don't worry about it then.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Stock up on some med kits. And...
It's good that when you hack it, an extreme word hacked appears on that one.
Yes. Yep, that was one of those late game, like, well, what if people don't think that it's hacked?
Yeah, it's
well...
that doesn't come flying in Married with Children style. Like, that's what that effect...
Oh, God, you're right! Oh, it's, yeah. Yeah, Arcadia is a place to get away. From Houdini Splicers. So yeah, these like wicker fertility figures were another Saturnine touch that was added, you know, in the Saturnine art pass. Just weird stuff, you know. They were all into. They would have been listening to like Black Sabbath and drinking Coors Light or something if they had been born a few decades later. Those Saturnine.
Attention. A new
Has the
curfew
first
will be
farmer's
enacted
market
on
been around for long enough?
Thursday that has been found in
That always strikes me as a
violation
modern...
will be
Yeah, possibly. I think I remember researching it at the time, and yeah, it was inconclusive. I couldn't really tell. Yeah, I'll tell you what's anachronistic though. Frickin' Arial with text effects.
Yeah.
This sign used to say, like, this sign was redone, and before the type looked beautiful, but then it was like redone in a hurry, and I don't know. Yeah, we didn't have time to go back.
Yeah, look at those R's.
Don't even. Yeah, I can't. It's too soon. Yeah. I'm a big. Along with Jake, I'm a big type. I'm an armchair type nerd. So you know.
This is sadly a
when I see anachronistic.
Yeah. Well,
we care about it.
I'm gonna put out a mod that actually replaces that with Comic Sans or with Pearl's MT.
Yeah. Or yeah. Well, right. Farmers in Comic Sans and market in papyrus.
Really stretched papyrus. Yeah. And I'll add a little other sign underneath that says artisanal goods.
Tuscan artisanal angular riffs.
The three cheese farmers market. 3 Pac-Man cheese. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah. We've at least got to get to the. So yeah, this is the farmers market, as Atlas would pronounce it, probably. Oh, don't do that. Oh yeah, there's a Houdini that's fighting a turret, a rocket turret. So that's exciting and new. Yeah, this is like the back half of the level where you're really just rooting around trying to find stuff, and I kind of like that you hear from Atlas and Ryan relatively little, because it just sort of lets the whatever kind of story the player's having and experiencing through the world. I don't know. It's just I like this area even though there's not like a big story type thing driving it. If it had been any longer, I think we would have wanted to have a real story moment to help keep people feeling connected to the story, but yeah. Oh, man, I've forgotten all these tricks. Alrighty, so yeah, whole bunch of pumpkins all over the farmer's market.
Nobody lays a hand on me!
Whoa. Oh yeah, this is a Houdini attacking a Big Daddy. So I guess the theme of this part of the level is just Houdini's making very poor choices. Actually kind of doing her own thing as an audio person. But she's awesome, and it's just her, I'm pretty sure it's her, just doing, just like going, like, take yourself with a microphone and make noises like a big man-child or something like that, and then just pitch shift them down, and you're kind of more than halfway there to having a Big Daddy sound. So we discovered this, none of us realized this until during BioShock 2's development. We were doing some stuff with slow-mo. I think we might have been like experimenting with like a slow-mo plasmid or something, and so we were like, well, we should pitch shift the sound up or down if the time dilation, the game speed changes. And whereas previously that was not the case. So you would jack the game up to like 2x speed and everything would just be running around quickly, but the sounds would just be playing at normal pitch. With this change that we had for about 6 months on BioShock 2, you would hear everything being, so you'd hear normal people like talking like chipmunks and stuff. But by far the funniest thing was coming upon a Big Daddy for the first time and hearing him going like, just actually like, my voice is trying to emulate this as closely as possible. And then, and you would get near, and so that was just like his normal. Just her, I'm pretty sure it's her, just doing, just like going, like, take yourself with a microphone and make noises like a big man-child or something like that, and then just pitch shift them down, and you're kind of more than halfway there to having a Big Daddy sound. So we discovered this, none of us realized this until during BioShock 2's development. We were doing some stuff with slow-mo. I think we might have been like experimenting with like a slow-mo plasmid or something, and so we were like, well, we should pitch shift the sound up or down if the time dilation, the game speed changes. And whereas previously that was not the case. So you would jack the game up to like 2x speed and everything would just be running around quickly, but the sounds would just be playing at normal pitch. With this change that we had for about 6 months on BioShock 2, you would hear everything being, so you'd hear normal people like talking like chipmunks and stuff. But by far the funniest thing was coming upon a Big Daddy for the first time and hearing him going like, just actually like, my voice is trying to emulate this as closely as possible. And then, and you would get near, and so that was just like his normal like, and then you would get near him and he would do like that threaten, like push you away type thing, and it would get like more aggressive and so it would be like, it would just be like upset, and it was hilarious. Like we were just dying laughing, and it would happen all the time because you would like put the game into fast speed so that you could observe like the Big Daddy and Little Sister routes that you would set up in your level. So you would just be hearing this constantly, and we'd be doing it in reviews and stuff, and it just And at some point we fixed that for some reason. I forget why. And it no longer happened. And it's not like you can invoke that cheat code from the retail version of the game anyway. But that was golden. And if you have if you have access to the BioShock sound files or something, if you've ripped them out of the resource files or something, take them into a sound editor and speed them up and enjoy. Just kick back, enjoy. So that's really good, and it gives you a new perspective on the Big Daddies.
Oh, that's the weirdest view mode. There you go.
Yeah. All right. This is the really cool. I like a lot of the stuff. I'm proud of like all the cool stuff that we did for the PC version of BioShock. Like, and like this was like this crazy like multi-selector thing.
I actually didn't know this screen existed until watching this playthrough. I don't think I have.
It's weird. Like because it comes up if you hit shift. And it's a replacement for the radial menu, for the pie menu that comes up on the console version.
It's very nice.
Yeah. And just like in... Whoa. Oh crap! Did I? Okay, yeah. I just put into perma walk mode for a second. Yeah. Let's go to the Silverwing Apiary and the Worley Winery. Okay. I really love that sign, but I like bees. So.
You love bees.
You love bees.
I love bees.
You love them.
If you must, not because of the Halo ARG, but
I don't know what that is. I just love bees. I just love bees.
I love bees was the name of the name of the Halo 2 announcement art.
It was about bees and beekeeping and the love thereof, but I think it got.
There was some weird hacker that hacked it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was weird. You went to that movie theater, Chris, to try and figure out what was going on with those bees, and it turned out that it was a marketing event for the video game Halo Combat Evolved.
Halo 2, actually.
Oh, was it? Sorry.
Yeah.
My mistake.
Yeah. The combat was already evolved at that point.
The combat was
and
further
we're really
evolved,
just
though,
seeing what
destroying bees.
It chronicles the further adventures of Halo. All right, yeah. This is definitely the weirdest plasmid in BioShock, and I love it. It's bio. It's shock. I'm not even. Yeah, B-hand.
It's so B-hand temporarily corrupts and grows a hive, which then heals.
Yeah, right. It's like, all right, that's gross. So, all right, now I'm better.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh yeah, when you realize.
Oh god!
Bees! Bees!
And they're crawling in and out of the holes in your hand. There's a very specific word for a phobia. It's on Wikipedia. Trust me. Oh god. Oh yeah. Right.
But they don't recognize your hand as their home?
No, that's true. That's true. It should allow me to refill my bees, for what that's worth.
Yeah, you should refill your bees, JP.
Yeah, I gotta remember. Pro tip.
Pro tip, refill your bees.
Yeah. Oh god, that's right. There were different kinds of tonics in Bio 1. What do I want? I actually just want like a health upgrade. Okay, yeah, sure. That's worth something. Yeah, there's a term for the phobia of holes in your skin. And yeah, like apparently... Yeah, and apparently the Suriname toad, which you should look up on YouTube or something, is the epitome of that, because its back is full of holes that all of its little tadpoles hatch out of in a truly horrifying display. So yeah, the enzyme that you need for the Lazarus vector is here in this place in the bees. They're using the bees to grow it or something, but the bees will sting you if you walk into this area. Oh god. Trypophobia. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Oh yeah, is this the only place in the game where Pigskin lives? Pigskin was the old-timey football player splicer, and he's hilarious. And he has like authority issues or something, because he's always talking about like, is this what you wanted, Dad? So yeah, he's a character, but we love him.
That dialogue is Steve Gaynor approved.
Yes, yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that was when Steve was writing Bio 2 Splicer lines. That was like he was digging on the pigskin. It is it's like a. Oh yeah, and he's like all smoky and honeycombed and.
What did you do to his face?
That might not have been me.
Specular mapped his face.
I did. I caused decals to appear on his face, and yeah, look, it's. Oh,
he's on Team B.
He's on Team B. Yeah. So anyway, you smoke the bees, and
that's so ironic that he was undone by bees.
Well, no, he was undone by my bullets on his.
He was undone by bullets near bees.
Yeah, but it's pretty ironic that he was near what he loved so much.
When he died when a gun.
When I caused blood decals to go onto his polygons.
He's afraid of holes in his face. Holes caused by bullets. That's a particular phobia. It's real though. Look on the internet.
He saw the bees coming out of your hand and said, "That's what I fear." And he said, "Fear this." And then a bullet was in his face, and it turned into a silly putty spec map.
Oh god, yeah, yes, everything you just said.
That's why BioShock is a great game.
Yeah. By the way, it's about objectivism and ambition and the audacity of man in the face of bees.
In the face of bullets.
Yeah. That thing in there that I was looking at. Let me pacify the bees once more. Did I actually?
Okay.
Let me pacify the bees once more.
Someone says I should do a commentary stream like this over Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. I think all three of us in this room actually
and just taking a dump on
would
it.
be more than happy to. To just.
We would need to actually find the first lording moment and then just keep a counter running in the corner that's just at the beginning of the movie.
Yep, absolutely. Till
he sits in the chair
time
waiting
to lording.
In the safe house at the end.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. I might have seen that movie in theaters 3 times.
I saw it twice.
Yeah, and you do have the Blu-ray, so we can do that up in fine styly.
Yeah.
So this thing is actually, this was a cut weapon. This used to be, it was a weapon called the bioweapon. That had,
did it put bees to sleep? It's only
sadly, no.
Could you chain it with the bee plasmid to put your plasmid bees to sleep?
Aw, and you'd sing a little song to them.
Well, no, you just smoke them.
Right, sure, yeah.
Well, sorry, if that thing made a song, I would be incredibly pleased. The active... Anyway,
I'm going to bring up the...
weapon actually is the bioweapon.
Yeah, the bioweapon was something that only did indirect and statusy type things. This was before... it did all of this weird indirect type stuff that we later realized had too much overlap with the actual functionality of plasmids. And so we rolled, and I think so originally that thing fired canisters of bees. I shit you not. And you would find bee ammo. And then we realized, A, that's stupid. B, also couldn't insect swarm be a weird plasmid? Wouldn't that just be like
that's
a 3D...
stupid that the gun shoots bees. What if your wrist shoots bees?
I make no...
It is, look at that bee wrist, though. You can't...
Yeah, that's high quality bee wrist.
Someone's asking, so the ammo was just people left jars of bees lying around?
Yeah, well, see, that was... Yeah, this was something that I brought up. The very first time I saw that pickup, it was like, oh, good, we have
a... society.
We have
someone...
Maybe the market, and so the asset, this is an example of something that happens in game development sometimes, where game designers come up with arbitrary BS, and then artists have to go and make it, and if the artist doesn't care to ask the designer about their arbitrary silliness, then it just kind of gets made. And so the very first time that I saw the actual bee ammo pickups type stuff in the world, it was like a coffee can or a can of Quaker Oats or something, and it had a picture of a bee on it, and it said "finest quality." And at that point, I don't know if it was in a review or what, but I was like, this is really nobody thought about this. We made it. And that's a good asset, the packaging and stuff. It was period packaging and stuff. But it was but it's finest quality bees. What? But that's what happens when design doesn't bother to explain their ideas to art. When you don't work together, then and you have weird concepts in your game, you get stuff like finest quality bees. So instead, we made wrist bees, and everything was okay. Yeah.
Someone on NeoGAF is telling me to stop interrupting you. I'm not going to stop it. Sorry.
That's fine. Yeah. Nobody's interrupting.
I'm going to talk about that smoke cannon. But thank you for interrupting me to tell me that it was in fact a bee smoke cannon.
Yeah.
We're in a way better place with that.
Yeah, it used to, it would fire all kinds of, it fired something that was equivalent to the Berserk plasmid, so it would just aggro enemies at a radius. There were bees. There was also, repellent, enemies would just avoid it, and that was deemed kind of not...
What did that banner say before it was ripped in half?
Why did they wear those masks?
Something idealistic. And
You weren't the one who artfully tore that?
No. An artist artfully tore that. This is probably one of the most on-the-nose lines in BioShock. He's like, why do they wear those masks? Seems like they're ashamed of what they are now, and they... I don't know, it was something like that. It was, but it's still, it's calling attention to something that, was definitely part of, they're masks, and these people are psychologically damaged because they got messed up, and the world is messed up. And I'm just, so inarticulate about this stuff, because I'm also playing a video game. Yeah. Hack computers. Oh god, and there's also a camera. Alright, no more. Yeah, I'm just dealing with stuff in relatively uninteresting ways. Oh yes, distilled water, where you find the whatchamacallit. Yeah, so you're in the winery, and there's distilled water, and it doesn't really make sense why. Oh, look what we found.
Hey, there he is.
Yep. So yeah, I was the jerk who did this. This actually, so yeah, originally I think those bullet holes were just there, and there were wheels of cheese elsewhere, and there was a big firefight in here. Like I was fighting a Big Daddy, and that wheel of cheese fell like somewhere kind of near here, and then I was like, hey, that kind of looks like, a Pac-Man. And then I was like, well, yeah, what if I just went into the editor and placed that? So yes, that's me. The funny story about this, actually, I totally told this story when I was on Idle Thumbs 2 years ago. So go into the archives and find out
Episode 14.
the amazing story behind the Pac-Man cheese wheel. But yeah, it was me getting cute. This is also lovingly recreated with sectors in Doom. So in the Doom demake. So
there's some other games at this point that have an organic Pac-Man, aren't there?
Right. Yeah, it's spread too. I know that Skyrim did that.
Good.
I can only assume as a nod to this, because it really is like a cheese wheel Pac-Man with little dealies. So thanks, designer on Skyrim.
I think that might have been Joel Burgess.
Oh. Okay, yeah, cool.
Who was the lead level designer on that.
Oh, sweet. Okay, yeah.
I think he's watching the stream.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I think that was Joel.
Yeah. Word up. It's a good meme to spread. I don't know. I'm a little more gun shy about the retro game references nowadays, but that was just like such a harmless little small environment detail that I didn't feel like I was breaking the fiction, basically.
Yeah.
Or just being an obnoxious retrophile. The old shotgun suicide. See the brewery tanks down there. You know what, guy? Have some beans. This was my term for like the animation that plays on your hands whenever you launch the bees. It looks like you're kind of offering them with both hands outstretched. So you're like, have some beans. Yeah, that's what we called it. Oh, it's an invisible guy. That's a Houdini splicer being attacked by bees. And then he warps in, and the bees are correct about where he is. Oh dear. Oh yeah. Okay. Wow, and that's the first time I died. Yep, I somehow accidentally aggroed that Rosie, and I resurrected at a Vita chamber, which is what happens down here if you're genetically related to Andrew Ryan somehow. And it's the brewery tanks and stuff. And we're collecting distilled water. I can't remember if this scripting survived, but I totally had a body float by underneath here. There. Right on cue. Yeah, and he's got $69 in him. So yeah, that's like Easter egg loot, basic. It's like, hey, if you see that floating guy go by, you'll have a chance to catch him. Okay. How do I bring up the old... Okay, yeah, this. What is my quest? Alright, I need two more chlorophylls. So that probably means that I just need to find and kill some Houdinis. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, this thing right here, yeah, this surprised Ken in a review one time, and yeah, he was not too happy about that, because it's just it is a screw job. Yeah, just
door, full face.
Right, yeah. You open this crawl space, and previously crawl spaces have been little secret nooks and stuff like that. You open it, you do have a moment to step away, as the turret snaps on and all that. So you have a good second or two before the thing starts shooting you. But if you're not quick on the draw, and you were just, especially if you were running in here to hide from somebody, you're having a real bad time. So yeah, I'm a dick. I take full responsibility for that. I want my other ammo.
How did what was the process that led to the Rosie Big Daddies being called Rosie? I mean, obviously it's a reference to Rosie the Riveter.
It was just because she had a rivet gun.
Yeah.
It was really, and I think a lot of those names were set in the initial concept. Like, somebody would do concept art
Yeah, it sounds like
and it would develop. It totally is, and it's a little confusing because we have a type of splicer that appears in other parts of the game called Rosebud. She's like the lady in the jumpsuit with the big cyst on her face. Yep. And then the bouncer, I think that was just like the cool name that went on the concept and then stuck. And he's the guy with the drills, obviously. He's the guy on the box, so you can refer to him as BioShock.
Yeah, I was fighting that BioShock once.
Yeah. You get surprised by a wild BioShock.
I had my BioGun when I was fighting BioShock.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Pumpkins. All right, so we've just about completed this nonsense.
Referred to as BioShock 2.
Well, yeah. Refer to Subject Delta as BioShock 2. Yeah. Oh, I don't. I'm singularly unprepared for this. Oh, good move, dude. What's gonna happen?
Someone was asking if you're going to show off the Arcadia remake.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, we're pretty much like, we can finish the rest of the Arcadia quest, or I can just boot that up. Yeah, I brought along Doom on a key drive with Arcadia.
So it's because I love bringing the game volume down a bit more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
I love that linear slider that adjusts how many speakers the game is outputting, basically.
Yeah, that is nuts. Andrew Ryan chimes back into Mustache Twirl because it's been a while since we've heard from him. And guess what? He still hates us and wants to kill us.
Just mustache twirling.
Yep, that's what he does. Although, he does it in his thoroughly, he's always just rhetorical. Susan O'Connor, who did a lot of contributions to BioShock's writing in earlier drafts of it, had this thing early on when she was just trying to find Ryan's voice, was that she was like, I'm gonna write him in a way that he never asks a question. Like, even when he's asking a question, he's making this definitive statement because he's just so sure of himself, So he's like, I wonder what you even think of what I've done here, stuff like that. And that's cool, like you can carry those kinds of conceits too far, but it's like, I think that was good. Susan O'Connor also, she was really her and I sat down and because she was figuring out what happens on each level. She's really the person to thank for the whole character, the character of Langford, and the idea of having somebody here that living in Arcadia that you. Sorry, I'm fighting a man, as usual. And just figuring out how to put a human face on this place, so that somebody, there can be a character in the backstory and stuff like that. And it was summer of 2006, I guess, that she would have been working on the project and writing stuff. And it was cool because, it was a writer working with a level designer and really fleshing out a bunch of what happened in the game. And there's a lot of her contributions in the game still. Although, even though not many actual written words survive. Okay, so I think we can just. All right, I need to craft. And yes, you can hack the uInvent station to craft the Lazarus Vector for a little cheaper, and that will save you a little bit of time doing the quest. All right. So let's bring this forest back to life. So in the story of the level here, you stick the little canistery thing in. It does its crazy thing, but for whatever reason, it's going to take some time. And lo and behold, Andrew Ryan is super pissed at you for doing what you've done, and so he's going to stop you. So you basically have to stay alive long enough for the forest to be able to trigger the forest back to life. And yes, Andrew Ryan is going to be throwing a lot of stuff at you.
Someone wants to know who decided to call it the Lazarus Vector.
That was super early on. That might have actually been from Paul Hellquist's draft of it, just from the significance is obvious.
Yeah.
You're bringing it back from the dead and all. Oh, that was not the right button to press. Yeah. Like, because Paul Hellquist did a draft on the script really early on, and then Susan kind of like rewrote that and gave it like a proper regularly treatment and stuff. And yeah, that was another name that stuck basically. So this was very intentionally constructed as a defense, as a point defense mission, kind of. What are you waiting for, boyo? Oh, what are you doing here, dude? Where, like, dudes are going to be coming in an area that you are locked into, and you really just kind of have to stay alive and survive. No, and so you're given a whole bunch of defensive tools. Because at this point in the game, I had the benefit of working on a level, like, Arcadia's gameplay benefits a lot from the fact that it came at that point in the game where you really do have enough tools now that you can have a lot of fun doing some really crazy stuff with the combinatorial play. You've got a whole bunch of plasmids, you've got a whole bunch of weapons and different ammos for them, and things like that. And so, and this was the point in the game where we really just wanted to give you a whole bunch of, give you an excuse to use a lot of your toys in a context other than just clearing corridors, sort of. And so, these dudes. That looks like a bug, I think. And he's even shooting me. Sorry, used to be good at this game. Alright. So dudes are coming in, and... Yep. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, there we go. They came open. But you don't see guys come in there. Yeah, there's just going to be dudes all over the place for the next minute or two. That's just what's going to happen. This is actually we drove this as a demo for, like, right around the game's release when we were showing it to the press, like Game Informer and stuff. Oh, great. Yeah, good. That's exactly what I wanted to have happen. I'm being facetious, by the way. That's not, in fact, what I wanted to have happen. Oh, wait. Hold on. No, but I can't, I can aggro other people to, I'm just messing this right up. And just like this demo was like, because at that point a lot of people had seen a decent amount of just like BioShock in screenshots, and they had heard Ken give the spiel about the story and all that kind of stuff, but they were like, but what's the gameplay like? And this was like chosen as the, this shows off, you show off a hell of a lot of what you can do in the game in this sequence, and it has a little story thing bookending, a nice simple story thing bookending it. And so I drove that demo and did the whole play a video game well and artistically while Ken talks about it to the rapturous presses. I also had the pleasure of driving the demo at E3 2006, which was the game's first real appearance. Which is a whole big, sort of the first point at which people started freaking out about BioShock and what's going on.
Yeah, I remember first seeing the game in not first seeing it, but first playing it in, mid-2007. Several months before it came out, I guess. And my first experience with it was just playing the first several hours.
Oh, yeah,
it was really surprising.
Yeah.
It was a really amazing experience playing it. A lot of stuff that the game hasn't been shown yet. And playing like 3 hours of it was kind of crazy. It was a shocking experience because it really felt really different to things like that.
What kind of experience was it?
Shocking.
No,
it's kind of like a biometric experience.
Don't.
Oh man, what happened to you? What did you do?
I died. I think I can go back up now. Yeah, I'm completely not paying attention to anything. What's going on here? Like, aren't there supposed to be like dudes? Everything's just a mess. I completely broke my own level here, by the way. There's supposed to be lots of dudes here, and but the scripting for this ambush was like the thing that I created, and we used a bunch for just making a torrent of dudes. which this game does become at times. Oh man, I'm so terrible. Yeah, and it keeps spawning guys, and it spawns them in waves, and waits until you've killed a certain amount, and pays attention to how much damage you're taking and how much you die. It was really just like this level designer hand-scripted type thing, like really rough, crappy version of like sort of a Left 4 Dead pacing type scripting. Can I leave? Just let me... Oh, that was the...
Oh, whoops.
So, okay, is the Vector actually done cooking here? Okay, well, it's the Big Daddy. I'll lose aggro on the Big Daddy. Jeez.
You really threw the book at that guy.
Like 3D viewers just...
So, synth tones?
Yeah. Twitch.
Why don't you walk over there into that line?
Prefer to not. Prefer that you die again.
Oh, no, he did.
Oh, you got his hat out of the deal.
Sweet.
That was a scripted encounter.
Yeah.
Every player ends up with a hat at the end of that combat.
Yeah, yep. We made sure of that. Ah, God, I'm so terrible. Nope. Yeah, God, yeah, I'm just... Yeah. This is amazing. Like, I'm the guy who made this level, and when I was working on it, I could have just like beaten its ass with like pretty much literally a hand tied behind my back. Oh, great! And yeah, he's aggroed on me because a guy set him on fire, and I'm considered the instigator of that damage because of reasons.
You saw who threw that flame. This is the part now where you're sad you didn't run easy.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, are there cheat codes for BioShock? IDDQD, perhaps? Yeah, actually, it's making this ambush like this is. I guess this is all an ambush, but it just feels like enemies have just kind of occupied this area.
Yeah.
I am such a loser. Like, God, yeah, this is terrible. I'm so bad at video games.
Are you almost dead again?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, you're like...
Yeah, right, because I don't have any, alright, yeah, I need to go over to that vending machine that I've hacked. It's just that it's being guarded by mans. Alright. No. Yeah. He's like, I want to run to water. No, I'm just going to poop out. Whoa! On-screen lockboxing. That guy just, like, turned into a lockbox while actually present on screen.
It's
That's
cool
like a
that
rare...
Bio1 supports on-screen
Yeah. That's a, we think it'll be a standard in the Xbox 720, but, but we wanted to, like, lead the way with that. Oh, terrible. Alright, I'm done killing man.
Did your thing go?
Yep.
Is the mister...
Yep, it's all done. It's maybe a little overcooked, even.
The mist has been deployed.
So, yeah.
Oh, look!
So this is beautiful.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah. So that's another traveling mask by Stephen Alexander.
Yeah.
And you get to see all of this stuff come back alive. And the lighting changes back again. It's this big level-wide state change. Looks really beautiful. And you're like, yay, now I can go through that frickin' door. And there's probably still a bunch of angry dudes. Or maybe I delete them through scripting. Because
maybe there's a bunch of lockboxes in here.
There will absolutely be a ton of lockboxes in here. Alas, poor Toasty.
He was the same guy.
He was the same. Yeah.
Oh, it's the same guy!
Yeah, here's people with beef coats. How's it going, dude? Alright, so at this point, we're basically done with Arcadia. We're going to walk out, and we're going to go into Fort Frolic, which, is an amazing level, and people generally consider to be the high point of its narrative and stuff. which is weird because it's like sort of an interlude. Like you lose sight of Andrew Ryan and Atlas for a while, and it's
It is
just
a cool
Andrew
just
Cohen.
short story that shows up in the game.
It yeah, totally.
Oh, what time is it?
Yeah. So yeah, we're at the end of Arcadia.
Is the Rapture Metro logo actually representative of a retro map?
No.
Oh.
No, definitely not.
A Metro map.
Although I think we tried to work it into that a little bit when we had to do a Metro map for BioShock 2, because as you know, BioShock 2 is all about trains, train maintenance, unfreezing trains, train-tenance. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
So yeah. All right. So yeah, this seems like a good stopping point, right? With our shotgun fully in gears. Yeah.
Do you want to? I don't know if people want to still
stick around for Doom.
Yeah.
So JP, I think you mentioned JP made a Doom level that is essentially a demake of Arcadia, which is the level we just saw, which is the one he built in BioShock. He made a Doom version of that and released it. And we were thinking of maybe having him load that up and play that a bit and talk about it with people. I don't know if people would be interested in that.
I managed to recreate. Well, yeah, I'll save it if we do it.
We'll have to turn off the stream and screw with stuff if we're gonna do that. But.
Yeah.
Do we have to turn off the stream or the stream?
No, I'll have to make the stream look horrible because I'm gonna have to add Doom as a game element to it.
Yeah,
we can do it. If people want us to.
The last chat line that I see is Gainer saying,
old.
"That cave is totally sweet. Arcadia looks amazing after it's been gases."
Yeah, no, people are into it.
I know
so
what you meant.
We'll go ahead and do that.
All right.
That cave is totally sweet. All right, I'll let you drive.
So yeah, this stream's going to be maybe weird looking for a little while as we figure this out.
As it regresses to 1994.
As I ruin video games. Sorry.
Yeah, Jake created that scan line and actually made this image as a video because he's neurotic and hilarious, but also good at making graphics.
Gotta put a distortion map on a logo.
He's too good, actually, for his own good.
That's true. Save my current game? Yes.
I think I already saved it, yeah.
Okay.
We're good.
How do I put Doom in a...
Okay, I copied it off of my key drive into a little directory, and you should just be able to... no, I think it's on your E drive.
It's on the wizard drive, please.
Yeah, so just click... Click the Arcadia batch file there. Yeah. Okay. And yes, we went Doom 2 Hell on Earth.
Do not ask me this again.
Don't.
Okay,
that's fine.
I'll hold that. No.
Oh god, yeah. But I told this to launch windowed, so I don't know what's up with that.
It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay, so you can put this. Wait a minute. Is it not? Oh, it's not. I don't think it's using any of my settings. Crap.
Like what?
Well, just like my keybinds and stuff, which aren't that different. It's also not in the right res. Oh, it's because I know why. I'll bet you can. So go back into that directory there, and yes, rename. So delete that file, and rename zdoom JPL to zdoom capital T thumb.
This is what the people in the chat crave. Okay, so now it should go.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, hold on. So I'm gonna totally F up the stream for a second.